She's up first.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody. That was off to a quick start. So my name is Katie Homan, and we are Heno. So we're a medical practice management software for healthcare clinics. So what is the problem in the industry? So basically, the issue lies is that a lot of private practice clinics and outpatient clinics in the allied health professions, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech, chiropractic care, all use multiple different systems in order to run their business efficiently. So basically what we did with Heno was we created one single platform to be able to run every aspect of the clinic or the practice with one system. So they're only logging in one time, and they can access everything that they need to within their company. So the biggest deal with this is that it saves tons of time in admin labor costs, and it also helps increase productivity and billable hours for the clinicians as well, because they're not spending wasteless time trying to navigate through different systems. So one of the first things that we did I didn't mention I have 2 clinics, and that's kind of how we came to figure out what this problem was in our industry. But one of the biggest things that we started was our profit loss for the day. So my receptionist at the end of each day in each office I had were spending an hour filling out this form just for me to know if I made or lost money that day. So it was crucial for me to know as a business owner, but it was way too time consuming. So we streamlined this to be less than a minute with Heno, and this is a very tiny tidbit of what Heno does today, but this process alone saved my clinics over $8,000 a year just in this efficiency portion alone. So how do we make money? So we have 2 different models here. We have a subscription model, which has an onboarding fee, and then you're paying $150 per month per provider. Towards the end of last year, we made a little bit of a pivot, and we added a revenue cycle management process into Heno, and so now the company is paying us a percentage of either between 6 to 8% of what they're bringing in total collections for their clinic or their facility. So to give you an idea of the difference in revenue that we're generating based off of these 2 different models, our subscription payers, the average clinic is paying us about $750 a month, whereas the revenue cycle management payers are paying us a little over $3,000 a month. So it's a big difference in terms of what we're collecting. So as far as the market is huge. For allied health professionals, like I said, PT, OT, speech, chiropractic care, it's a $24 billion a year industry. That encompasses a little over 50,000 clinics just in the US alone. So if you look at the SAM, that's about almost under 17,000 clinics, and then what we're very on track to attain is a quarter of that market. So about 4,000 clinics is what we're shooting for. There is definitely a lot of competition, especially in the EMR space, but the difference in that is that that's exactly what they are. They're just EMRs, so they don't have all of these other features that Heno encompasses in terms of billing, in terms of scheduling and collections, and all of the marketing features and general store and sales features that we have. And in our industry, in the therapy realm, there's really one big competitor out there that's up there. And they comprise of most of the market for allied health professionals, and they are built on very antiquated old software platform, and that's where Heno comes in, is we're built on a very new scalable platform, and we're not having to piecemeal different companies together as far as, okay, I'm gonna buy this billing software and now let's hook it into this company. We're all together. So as far as our traction, it's a little bit higher than what you see, but right now we have 35 clinics. Out of those 35 clinics, 9 are RCM customers, and we just started that in September, October. So we're doing well with those types of customers. We have over 121 providers, and we're in 20 states. As far as our milestones, so we launched to the public in terms of after our beta in Q1 of last year. By the end of last year, we were able to hire 2 full-time support staff, and they're kind of everything staff. They do sales and a little bit of everything with all of our customers. We started the RCM revenue model, and we hit our goal of 100 customers or 100 providers using Heno by the end of the year, so that was really exciting for us. In Q1 of this year, so right now, we actually hit $20,000 in recurring revenue from our customers, and that was another goal that we were really proud of being able to hit. So by the end of Q2, we're also going to be into UCF's PT school, so we'll be able to provide Heno within the PT program at UCF so that their students can get equipped with learning how to document and how to do different things that they'll be able to need to do in the real world. And so then when they graduate and get out into the job field, they'll already be familiar with our product.
So what would we be looking for in terms of investment? We'd be looking at $250,000 now, and then $2 million next year. What would we use that money for? We have an inbound marketing campaign on the shelf ready to go. We would expand our warm lead purchasing. One of the things we run into with the demos is not all the clients know who we are in the profession. A lot of people go to the trade shows. Quite a few of our competitors are there, so we'd want to make a big splash with that. And then the bulk of the money would go to new employees, and then we got to probably find an office to put them in or they're going to get rained on. So how would that look? So these are some big numbers. We're basically setting the subscription piece aside for the scope of this, and this is just RCM clinics. So if we were to bring on 50 RCM clinics in 2018, which we feel that we could do because we could staff up, at $35,000 a clinic, that'd be $1.75 million in revenue, and then it'd be pretty much break even for this year and next year, and then once we get into 2020, we're going to start becoming profitable again. How are we going to do it? Technology changing. A lot of people can build a software application, but not everybody can build a team, and not everybody can build a business. And Heno's also 400 pages, so it's not that easy to build. We've already built businesses. Katie manages over 25 people. We've done that together. We've been through battle for the last 8 years or so. 9 years? Been a while. So we got that piece. Myself, I worked at Oracle for 17 years. I got to build a software program for 30 people up to tens of thousands of people. By the time I left Oracle, every single customer in the world still interfaces today with that system. And that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I worked for somebody, but it felt like it was my own. So to be able to do that with us is truly exciting. Down here, Sam and Jania, they're our first two full-time support hires. They've been doing a phenomenal job. We've been able to really streamline our processes. We set up a nice ticketing system, knowledge base. Our customers are happier now. They're taking less time and live trainings, and it's really been great for them and for us. Michael Judith, he's been like a dad to us, keeping us out of trouble and helping us out with everything, with the business and everything. Dave Kittle, he's our sales contractor. He's been doing a few sales on the sides. I finally got a part-time developer to help me out a little bit, so I'm able to work more on the business versus in it. And Jason, he's the key to this whole thing. He's grown practices from 0 to 20,000 providers in the past. He builds sales teams. He's available. He loves our product. And he would be the focal point of that investment in building out that team. Thank you.
Anybody else?
So,
go ahead.
First of all, I applaud your entrepreneurial spirit. And the questions I have are really, how are you going to grow out of your vertical? And you're a physical therapist right now, is that correct? Okay. So do you have anybody outside of physical therapy now?
Yeah, we do.
And those are what professions?
We have a licensed mental health counselor using it. But other than that, yeah, it's PT, OT, speech, chiropractor. Oh, we do have we do have a PM&R doctor.
Okay. So, but part of would you say the success of your plan hinges on your ability to grow outside that PT vertical?
No.
So
No.
just within the PT vertical,
Correct.
you could meet your financial goals?
Yeah, and our system is flexible. With our last release, we've customized the EMR now. The billing's already been flexible at anything, so now we've customized that as well, where they can go in and build their own forms and everything else. So those, if we ever decided to pivot that way, it'd be very easy to do.
You mentioned quite a number of competitors and so forth. Take me through the sales process. How do you find customers? How do you talk to customers the first time around? What is that whole sales and marketing plan?
Okay, so currently we have several different paths. One of them, we were buying warm leads from Software Advice. We're not doing that as much anymore. The lead would come in. Sam and Jania, as soon as they come in, they would reach out to that customer, put them in a HubSpot, start a sequence of events for emails, get them scheduled, do a demo, While they're on the call, they'll schedule a follow-up demo, and then they'll go from there. Jason has helped us get some of those processes in place, but the biggest thing for us to scale would be to bring him in full-time and get more of this stuff done and build out our SOP and everything.
You know, well, I get that piece of it, but it seems to give me an uneasy feeling that it's going to take a long time to scale this. I mean, I realize the software works and clearly is working effectively, you know, in supporting a number of clinics already, but the sales process and how you generate more revenue is a concern. I mean, and you've got a technical background, and she's got a lot of other things to do, and so my concern is what are you going to do to really build this?
Well, we're going to bring in Jason, who's built other competitors from 0 to 20,000 practices and help us put those systems into place. So we already know if it's something we're not good at, we hire people to do it, and he loves the product, and he's wanting to partner with us.
Can you go back to the financial slide real quick?
I knew that was coming.
So the $35,000 per clinic, would most of those people be on the collections model versus the pay-per-seat model?
Yes, this is all RCM collections. I kept the subscription completely off this because it's just too difficult for two revenue streams. This is just RCM.
Okay. So you're projecting 1.75 this year.
This is if we were to get investment. If we don't get investment, it's going to be lower than that. It'll be more like 300,000 or 400,000 this year.
A few seconds ago, you said you had 30 or 35 clinics, and you're doing with 5 or 6 people. Why do you need 18 to get to 50?
We don't need 18 to get to 50. We need 18 to get to 250 and 500. Again, this is with investment, so we can get those people on board, train, and then go after these larger numbers.
And if we're just looking at this, this is just for the RCM, so we only have 9 RCM right now, because we just launched it in the fall.
Yeah, but if you're have 35, you have 35 now, right?
Not RCM. The 35 we have now are subscription, and RCM 9
So
RCM.
Still a third in value, because you said 3,000 a month
Correct.
versus 750, right?
Right.
So 25% of the value. I still don't understand the 1.75. So you're at 20,000. Is it 20,000 MRR that you have? The 20,000.
Yes. For this
MRR?
and that's the first time we've hit this. The RCMs are really just starting to pick up because there's a lag between the time that they come on, we do collections, and then we get paid.
So how many of the clinics that you have now, of the 26 that are not RCM, will be able to be converted to RCM?
We have a few that are interested in it now. I'm not really clear on every clinic and what their strategy is, but that's an option available to them at any time. If their biller quits, they can just sign a contract, and we immediately take over their billing the next day.
Who onboarded those clinics, you or your sales guy?
Sam and Jania.
Support team.
The support team is also wearing a sales hat that were trained by somewhat from Jason from some of the things he's taught Katie and I.
Scalability question. I mean, how many do you know, to Richard's question, do you really need 18 people to do that, since you've been able to get, 9 with very modest?
Well, no, we don't.
folks?
No, we
And
don't.
if
No,
you-
no,
yeah.
no, we don't. We need 18 to get to 250, to get to 500. I mean, you can't just get 250. You can't just hire 30 people in 1 year and then scale up. I mean, we want to do a gradual build. And again, this is if we take money. If we don't take money, then yeah, it'll be a nice slow process, and probably see a half dozen employees this year, and then we'll gradually grow. The numbers will be a lot smaller than that.
I have a couple questions. One is, what is the cost of your onboarding? You're charging people 10 to 20,000. What does it cost you? And then secondly, you talked about having $20,000 in your Q1 renewal. What is that as a percentage of the available renewals?
The $20,000, that's complete. That's everything right now. That's RCM and our subscription. If you're asking which percentage is which, it's about 60% subscription, 40% RCM. We have 2 very large RCM clients that just signed up this past month. One of those will be about $60,000 a year, and the other one will be about $45,000 a year. But it takes time to get them onboarded onto the system and bill out and collect.
I
on
guess
that
the
money.
question was more, did anybody decline to renew?
No, we have not. No, we haven't lost a customer yet that's been on the system for more than 3 months. And the onboarding process, we have lost some, but once they're on the system, we haven't lost anybody.
What's your cost of acquisition of a new client?
We're not doing as much software advice leads anymore, so that brought it up to a couple thousand. Now that we're not doing that anymore, we're probably more in the $200-300 per client.
Pretty direct question. Since you were here last year, what has been the biggest learning that went totally unexpectedly from where you were last year to where you are today?
For me, as a clinic owner, I thought everyone should do their billing in-house. It saves you money, you're on top of it, you know what's going on. So we didn't even start Heno with that RCM part in mind. So when customers started asking for it and saying, hey, I don't want to do this in-house, I'd rather pay you guys this money to do it, we were like, oh, okay, well. They may not think the same way business mind as me in my clinics, but if that's going to make us more money and it's a lot simpler for them and they're going to become a customer.
And my second and last question, what valuation are you trying to raise the money at today? And would you guys be willing to give up a controlling interest in the business to see this thing really take off to where it needs to go?
Yes. As far as, yeah, we'd be willing to give up a controlling interest if we had the right people in place, not just somebody that knows our space better than us, that we're fine with that. So evaluation, like I said, $20,000 recurring monthly right now, it's very difficult to kind of, that valuation doesn't, you know, from a Shark Tank perspective, the $20,000 doesn't justify this, but this is where we feel that we can get to based on where our competition is now with 7,000 clinics and half the product we have.
But you didn't answer the question.
Around 5 million. Sorry, talk too much.
Thank you very much. Great job.